So he put it out there for the world to see, essentially.
To ultimately destroy me.
You're listening to your Soul Care Companion podcast with Marcus and Marion. Join the conversation and follow right now at your Soul Care Community on Instagram and on Facebook for updates on upcoming events and a regular dose of wisdom, insight, and companion connections.
How did it affect? Because you were a musician at the time.
I was pastoring.
Oh, you were pastoring. So how did it affect the church? I was
a musician in the mornings playing, and my services have always been a Sunday night. So I would play on the morning and I would pastor at night. That was the first time it was ever made public, and so I was able to do some damage control because this is just something completely new to the people that I lead, and I was able to take them out. This happened on a Friday. That Saturday, Asia and I both took them out to Golden Corral, and we sat around the table, conference style, and I again confessed to them. I apologized to them. That was enough for them. That Sunday night, we came in, we had church, and from that point on, we moved forward like nothing had ever happened. They offered and extended to me the same grace that I had preached and taught to them.
And then, fast forward.
That was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
2016. Yes, 2016. There was a young lady that I knew through Asia's father, who was my pastor at one time. She was his nurse, so to speak, at the church. We were friends. To this day, I stand on this word, and God is my witness. We never were sexually involved. But from 2009 up to about 2011, we continued with interaction on social media, and we had inappropriate conversation, and there were inappropriate pictures sent between her and I. 2009. In 2016, in January of 2016, her 8-day-old baby died. Out of the blue, she contacts me to eulogize her 8-day-old newborn. She asked me how much I would charge. I told her nothing. I do the funeral, everything's fine. I leave, I go straight home. This was on a Saturday. The funeral was on a Saturday. That Monday, I get an inbox from her saying that she's on her way to Albany or Augusta or something with her 3 children, and her buy here pay here car, I guess she didn't pay the payment and it cut off en route to where she was. She needs X amount of dollars to pay the bill. Supposedly she can pay it over the phone, and they'll turn her car on so she can get to her destination. Just a few days ago, the girl buried an 8-day-old baby. Now she's stuck on the side of the road. She's going through so much. The pastor and friend in me pays the fee. Because it had to be done over the phone, in stupidity, I give the girl my credit card information, not my personal credit card information, but the church card. And she uses it to pay the payment. She texts me back, everything's fine, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. 30 days later, because Asia does the finances for the church.
And Asia is your wife?
Yes.
Okay.
She gets the bank statement from the church. The charge, the girl told me, was 100 and some change. We get a bank statement 30 days later. There's $768 and some change charged to the church card. So we've gone from $100 and something just to get your car back on that you're supposed to pay me back in 2 weeks, to now almost $1,000 when you add up all the fees charged to our church card. Asia asked me, what is all these forget the name of the place, the car place. What are all these charges? I had to tell Asia the truth. I did not tell Asia at the time because Asia would have said no. I told Asia the truth, this and that and the other. I inboxed the girl. She's going to take care of it. A whole month later, she still hasn't taken care of it. Now we're up to $1,100 and something. So I called the car place myself to find out what is going on. She's saying they've overcharged her, that they must have put the card on auto deduct. So I called the place. Not only did she pay back pay on the car, she paid the car insurance, which came through the car place as well, on the church card. So I get faxed over all this information to prove her fraudulent activity. I confront her with the claims. Because she is now caught, she starts to blackmail me that if I press charges on her because of her fraud, that she would release to social media the pictures that she had in archive and also the messages that she had in archive. Well, because I don't do finances from the church, and the church is now charged all this money, we have to get this money back. Asia and the finance people decide that they want to go ahead and press charges. She gets contacted by our church attorney, and when that takes place, hell breaks out again. My pictures are on social media, and several screenshots of messages that I shared between me and this girl shared are now on Facebook. 2 years before this, I had been involved with this other girl that we talked about before. Mm-hmm. 2 years later, here's this claim, and because they look similar, there is an automatic assumption that Pastor Jones has been inappropriate, extramarital affair, and here we go again. This time the church did not survive. This time it was really bad. It was really bad. Now the last part of that is my wife talked directly to the young lady. Maybe 2 weeks before she posted all this on Facebook. So by the time it got on social media, it was old to us, but it was new to everybody else. So Asia and the girl talked. The girl told her that she had been to our home. She told her that she had videos of us that never surfaced, of course. Just all these false claims. And she created fake Facebook pages, and you can tell that the actual shots were manipulated. Dates and times were manipulated. When we compared threads, certain messages were deleted. It was a crazy fiasco, and here we are again.
But now the church is dissolved.
Yeah, slowly but surely, one by one, I started to receive resignation letters from church members. One by one, they started tipping out of the services. Every week, I would see less and less people in service.
And let's paint the picture, because you mentioned that, Marion mentioned, at one point, the church was thriving, the choir, amazing. They were competing in How Sweet the Sound. Is that right?
Not only competed, but won.
We won How Sweet the Sound. We were in several competitions, featured on VH1 Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Bounce TV, Saints and Sinners, VH1 Sorority Sisters. I mean, we were doing the thing.
Wow. And for all of that to dissolve after this second claim of infidelity, but one thing that you haven't said is what effect did it have on your relationship with your wife?
Again, and this is the missing piece, and the disclaimer that I'll give to you guys before I say this is sometimes you can be so protective of a person's reputation that you were almost willing to take the missing pieces of the puzzle that would make sense to everybody if they knew it to the grave with you, because you don't want to tarnish the reputation of someone else. But because Asia is now okay with me telling it, I'll tell the missing pieces, and it'll be okay.
Wow. We have just heard some really rich content. I told you that this was a great interview, and I told you to be intentional about what you heard, because I definitely know that I was. One of the things that stood out to me the most was when he said, I showed my wife my beauty, but I also showed her my beast. But I thought that beast was tamed. I got a question for you. How often do you show people your beauty, but never show them your beast? Another question, have you even identified that beast? Well, if you haven't, that's your assignment. I want you to take some time with yourself. This is very important. You got to take some time with yourself. If you got to write it down, whatever, but identify that beast. As a matter of fact, let's do this as a community. Go ahead and slide on over to Facebook. Go to Your Soul Care Communities page. And I want you to post, My Beast Is. And let's expose that beast that's been holding you back, setting you back, causing you to end up in places that you had no idea or did not want to be. Let's expose that thing as a community. Because if we're going to win, if we're going to recover, we're going to have to be able to identify those things that are holding us back. We have more to this episode, but until then, I want you to really do the work. And I really want you to really take some time and really dig deep. All right? This has been your Soul Care Companion podcast. My name is Marion, and we have our other host, Marcus, and we're going to hear from you very soon. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to your Soul Care Companion podcast with your Soul Care Companions, Marcus and Marion. Stay connected with the Soul Care community at Your Soul Care Community on Instagram and Facebook. And be sure to subscribe to this podcast for all new episodes.